Good morning and welcome to another market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Mark Ray, the Market Trader, and let's begin. First order of business is to review our risk disclosure. All the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offered to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Testimonials appearing on the company's website may not be representative of other clients or customers. It is not a guarantee of future performance or success. Use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representative agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk, and it's not for every investor. Investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital, money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle, should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. So now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure here, guys, we'll go ahead and move on to our news portal here and see what news we have in store for us that could impact us in engaging in the markets. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so we have already reporting durable goods, core durable goods. We have Fed member Kashkari speaking here at 10 a.m. We have, for those crude oil traders, we have inventories coming in at 10:30 a.m. We have a White House press briefing at 1 p.m. Eastern. Then we have a couple of note yields reporting at 1 p.m. again today. And then some additional Fed, we have another Fed member speaking at 1. And then a speech from Trump here at 3 p.m. On Women's History Month. Okay. All right. So that's kind of a fair amount of news, especially for those crude oil traders. So something to keep in mind here. All right. So let's go ahead now and move into the markets. Okay. And all right. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the gold. All right. Gold is technically open as we speak. Okay. So we'll start off with the gold. We're going to go ahead and remove our drawings here. We're going to start off with the daily. Okay. And see what the daily has to say. Okay. Again, right now it appears that we're in some sort of consolidation pattern of some sort. Kind of what appears to be kind of a triangle pattern, symmetrical triangle appears to be, okay, something along those lines. Basically trying to arrive at, what the next move is in the market, okay? So this is kind of what I'm seeing here, okay? So we've been in this, kind of impulsive move to the upside. We're now in this kind of consolidation range. And if I do a little bit of Fibonacci analysis on this most recent swing, okay, then we're probably looking at 3,116 on the conservative side, and maybe ultimately up to almost 3,200, okay, on this. Now, I'm not suggesting that this is happening today, but over the next, few weeks, we have the potential of reaching those levels, okay? All right, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart, you can see that we are, I'll go ahead and turn off my initial balance for the moment. Okay, you can see that we are in this consolidation range. We are developing a little bit of a bullish engulfing candle at the moment as we speak. Okay, which could obviously translate to further prices to the upside in this market. Okay, I would say that anywhere along the bottom end of this triangle pattern would be a good location, maybe for longs, and similarly on the upper end here for maybe potentially shorts. Okay, I do see that we are creating a little bit of a demand zone here. Okay, on the 4-hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark that. You can see here that there is a little bit of a demand zone around, looks like 30-20, somewhere in that range. Okay, so a little bit of a demand in this 30-20 range. Okay, price has not been able to close inside it. And now, right now, we are challenging 30-40, 30-35. We are kind of challenging that at the moment. So we'll have to see how price closes around this area. It's had some trouble in the past, okay, in closing above. Okay, so let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Okay, this is where we start to do a little bit of volume analysis here. We start off by opening up our fixed range volume profile to the start of Tuesday. Okay, prior session. Okay, right about there. I'll drag that across to the close of Tuesday, right about there. Okay, and you can see at the moment that we are just on the edge of value here. Okay, trying to get above it. Okay, so we've made a couple of attempts. With each attempt, we've kind of dried up some sellers here, right? First attempt, we sold off a bit. Second attempt, we sold off, but not to the same level of magnitude. Okay. Now we are challenging this, okay, to close above. Okay. And this is, I believe, the first 30-minute candle. We're going to go ahead and open up our initial balance range, not for Tokyo, but for US here. We'll go to the regular trading hours. Okay. So there's our initial balance. Okay. So you can see that price is above our VWAP, above settlement, above working to get above value area high. Okay, which could offer us an opportunity here at some point, assuming that we do close above here, that it could offer us an opportunity for us to maybe participate in a move to the upside off of value area high. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that level. Okay, so I would say that value area high around what looks like, was it 30, 34, 30, 33.7, somewhere in that range. Okay, would offer us maybe an opportunity to participate in a trade to the long side. Okay, now if this cannot hold and we close back inside value, well, that could cause price to rotate through value. Okay, right. So if we close back inside, we could get a rotation down to 30.24. Okay, but right now it appears, okay, although it looks like there is being met with some selling. Right, we can see here that this is an area where we've seen sellers in the past. That we are seeing that this area is being met with some sellers here. Okay, so let's see. We're going to go ahead and open up ADR here and ASR just to get a sense for where those are. So we still have some room for ADR. That would take us to the top of the channel that we drew there on the daily, right around 30.42.5. And then the ASR also coming in at that same level, okay, around 30.45, 30.44 to the upside, okay? So again, I would say that this area right up above here, this area above could offer us an opportunity, okay, for a reversal in current price action, okay? This 30.44, 30.42 area could offer us a reversal in price. Okay, something along these lines. So we come up to this level and kind of reverse away from it. That would be kind of a logical thing to do given the level. Okay. And then on the long side, well, we have our VWAPs. Okay. I haven't drawn in my anchored VWAP just yet, but we'll add that now. So anchored VWAP here at the, say, close to the start of London, into London here a little bit. Okay. So any of these areas here could offer us a location to participate in the longs. Okay. So going into today's session, I would say that the market is somewhat appears to be bullish. Okay. In a larger time frame, in a higher level consolidation pattern, but I am seeing beginning to see some higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so we managed to break this value area high once, met with sellers twice again, and we're right back at that same level again. Okay, so going into the session, I would say that we continue to remain bullish in the gold. Okay. Moving on to the crude oil market. Okay, crude oil market. We're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart. Okay, looking at the daily chart, we can see we're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. You can see that we are starting to make a series of higher highs and higher lows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the seven daily candles that we received have all been bullish. Okay, and we are now coming into an area. I would say around 70 that could offer maybe some level of resistance here. Okay, 70 is not only a psychological number, but I do see that we have some structure here that could cause maybe a temporary stall in price advancement. Okay. We also have an area here around 72, 73. These are highly congested areas that could offer us some reversal in price. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, so 4-hour chart, again, we see that we have a steady sequence of bullish price action. Again, I'm going to turn off initial balance here for the moment. This is kind of cluttering my view here, but we continue to make higher highs and higher lows. Okay, in this market. All right, and we are developing a candle that's challenging to close above 60.60. Okay, and then looking to the left, you can see that we have the area I had spoken to about above around 70, between 70 and 70.50. Okay, so it is coming into an area where we could find ourselves some sellers. Okay, and thank you, Natalie. Likewise. Okay, so here we are. We are coming up into an area of maybe where we can find some sellers here. Okay, so I would say that we need to remain a bit guarded here, assuming we get above some of these levels that could open us the door to 71 and then potentially up to 73. Okay, but first order of business is we need to figure out whether they have the participants to drive price above 70.40. Okay, and if they do, then we can use 70.40 as a level for us for a continuation move to the upside. Okay, moving down to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart here. Okay, it's kind of looking at this. We have still a bit to go to get to ASR high. We have 69.93 as identified, and ADR is also coming in at that same level. We're going to go ahead and open up our volume profile here for Tuesday. We're going to look for Tuesday's start here, which is right about there. We'll drag that across to the close of Tuesday, and you can see that price is well above our high end of value from yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark this area because this area could serve or could provide an area where we could see price come down and reverse away from. Okay. Otherwise, we could see price close back inside and maybe head down to point of control, and maybe it may be as low as the other end of value. Okay, we have a nice solid level here at 68.70 that we can use as a reference level as well. Right now, we have I guess our experience a little bit of a pullback. We are seeing a little bit in the way of selling wicks here up at the top, which could indicate that maybe we are headed lower in this market. Okay, given the vicinity that we have here, but my feeling is that maybe there is one last leg up here to 69.93 before we see any sort of significant reversal in price action. Okay, that's kind of what I'm kind of feeling. Okay, so that's kind of what I have for crude oil. We're going to go ahead and move on to the Nasdaq. Okay, followed by the ES, and then we'll close out with the Dow here. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the Nasdaq. Okay, so here we are. So we're going to go ahead and move into the daily chart. Okay, looking at the daily chart, you can see that we are developing some form of bearish candle here. We had talked about at least I feel like we've talked about. You're welcome, Natalie. That 20,600 could offer us maybe an area of resistance. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw that in 20,600 right about here. Okay, this could be a resistance area in the Nasdaq. Okay, so we'll see if I can manage to draw this in red. Okay, indicating it's an area of resistance. Okay, yeah. So the reason I'm labeling that as an area resistant is because I am seeing that we've sold off from here in the past. Okay, so now that we're coming into these areas that are between, I would say, 20,600 and all the way up to 21,000, that this area in general would be an area where sellers could potentially step into the market here. Okay, I would say anywhere in this area. Okay. Now, if we do manage to get above it, obviously that will spell good news to the bulls, right? That they have the participants to drive price further in this market higher. Okay, but this is going to be an interesting area for me between 20,600 and 21,000 because again, I do see evidence of sellers in this area. All right, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart, we have that area 20,600 as I mentioned. We have the top end of the area here at 21,000. You can see with a little bit more clarity that there have been sellers here in the past. Okay, so I have to respect that there might be maybe an opportunity that there might be another occasion where sellers step in this area. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay, we're going to widen this out here. We're kind of in the middle of these ranges. Okay, so we have ADR and ASR, coming in at just above this 20,600 level at 20,660. Okay, maybe on the low side, 20,625. Again, indicating that there might be this area here could offer us maybe an opportunity to fade the market. Until then, I would say that we are somewhat in somewhat of some bullish kind of structure here to the upside. We've come down to an area of demand. It looks like that was kind of accepted as maybe a logical area to participate to the long side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw that in green. Okay, so this area here does appear to be a supportive area, and if we do manage to close above, okay, say 20,490, okay, 20,500. Then I would say that we continue our march and trek up to 20,600. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and draw in my volume profile here. Okay, so here we are, the start of the session yesterday, and then work my way to the close. So we're hovering right at the edge of value here. Okay, right at the edge of value. So for myself, I really need to see, in order to look long here, I really need to see price close definitively above. And I'm looking at volume delta here for this kind of definitive question. Okay, I am seeing some volume. Okay, to the positive side, and the volume is a little bit greater than what we've seen so far. Okay, which is positive. Okay, so I would say that we probably need to get above this 20,490 level, okay, to really begin to embrace longs, okay. Otherwise, if we hang around this level and this level continues to be respected without price advancing above it, then this could develop into a supply zone that could cause price to fail and continue lower. Okay, so relatively important area at the moment in Nasdaq. Okay, let's see. Initial balance is not in play at the moment. ADR we've already discussed. So let's see. Yeah, so we're still a ways away from ADR high and ASR high. We're kind of in the middle of the range at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see what initial balance provides in the way of direction. Okay. I would say that right now, given this, I guess, most recent price action, that maybe we see another leg to the downside. Okay, but assuming that this area holds. Now, if we do get price above, as I mentioned, this 20,500 level, that could open up the door to get us to 20,000 520 and ultimately 20,600. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the NASDAQ. I'm kind of taking a peek here to see if there's any questions. I don't see them. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the ES here. So ES. Okay. So looking at again, similar kind of view here, right? We start off with a daily, get a sense for what the daily is providing us. And the daily, we have I guess, somewhat developing bearish candle, but is not overly strong here. We have a very relatively large wick here on the bottom. So it does feel like maybe there might be a continuation move here in store for the ES to the upside. I'm going to go ahead and mark similar area that we marked off. Okay, I would say this area right here between, I don't know, 5,900 and 5,975 could be an area where we could see sellers potentially step in, because honestly, guys, we still are, this swing is still inside a larger bearish swing. Okay, so this could merely be just a retracement back to a known level in order for us to, I guess, see a continuation move in that same direction. Okay, that's not out of the realm of possibility here, right? So we are coming into an area here where we could see sellers step in and drive price lower. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart, we do see that we do see a developing bullish engulfing candle. I'm looking at the volume here down below, not overly impressive at the moment, but nonetheless, we are in a structure, okay, that leads us to believe that there's maybe some further upside in this market. Okay, we have, although it's kind of leveling off, we're seeing a little bit more in the way of overlapping candles, indicating that maybe there's a little bit of loss of momentum to the upside. But with this bullet, assuming that this closes as in the same way, then I would say that there's more upside opportunity in the ES. Okay, looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay, this is kind of where we start to do a little bit of volume analysis here. Okay, so we see that price is above our VWAP. We're going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP for the start of Tuesday here, just to get a sense where price is in relation to yesterday's value. Okay, so we're going to go and click on here and select the close of Tuesday here. That is there. Okay. So you can see here that we just made it above, okay, just above value here. So I'm going to go ahead and extend this line right about here. Okay. The settlement price and value area high happen to be the same location. So we did get a close, a couple of closes now above value area high, which could lead us to maybe using value area high as kind of a reference level. Okay, assuming that we are long, that we should stay above both VWAP and value area high for a continuation move to the upside. Okay. If we start to break down and close below value area high and break below VWAP, then that could offer us maybe an opportunity where we revisit some of these lows here at 58.15. Okay. Let's see. We have ADR above. Okay. So we're kind of in the middle, and we have ADR below. Okay. So we're kind of in the middle of the range, not really giving us an indication of what direction they want to go. I'm going to go ahead and open up our anchor VWAP here, okay, and just get a sense of what London was able to do to this market, and it was also bullish, okay. So again, I think heading into the open here, we are coming into again maybe the top end of the range here. I think it's reasonable for a price to reach that level, okay. If we can get above it, that could get us into maybe a directional move, okay, in this market. So let's see, 58.3450, I would say is resistant. We do seem to have some level of demand here below around, let's see, 59, 50, 58.10, 58, yeah, 58.10. I'm going to go ahead and mark this as green, okay. So yeah, this does appear to be some level of support here, and you could probably argue that there's a similar level that exists here around the line that I drew on the supply side. So indicative of kind of range, kind of price action, okay, but nonetheless, that's kind of these areas of importance. Okay. So if we really are going to embrace a long, right, we probably need to break above 58.34 or participate in an area here where we can manage our risk down below or closer to 58.15. Okay. This area here does appear that maybe it could offer us maybe a location to potentially fade the market back down to 58.15. Okay. Especially if we start to see price closing inside value and below VWAP, that could offer us maybe some indication of that. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I have for the ES. We're going to go ahead and close off the session here with a review of the Dow. Okay. As our last session, as part of our review of the markets. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and look at the daily, and then we'll close out with a kind of a brief summary across all markets. And then we'll close the session as a whole. Okay. So of the three markets that we've been reviewing so far, I would say that the Dow appears to be the most bullish because I'm seeing that we are getting volume delta bars that are positive. Okay. And I'm seeing candles that are bullish. Okay. And when I was reviewing the NASDAQ and the ES, these candles were not bullish. They were more bearish. Okay. So looking at this, I do see that we are coming into an area much like we discussed with the Dow and the ES, coming into an area where we could find some sellers here around 43,000, let's say 275. Okay. This could be an area of resistance, and ultimately around 44,000. I would expect to be somewhat resistant to price. Okay, moving into the Dow. All right. Sorry, moving into the 4-hour chart. That's what I meant to say. We are already at the Dow. Okay, so looking at this on the 4-hour perspective, you can see we have a relatively strong bullish engulfing candle that is also supportive by by volume. Okay. Again, giving us an indication that it seems reasonable that we could potentially get to the highs here. This high back that was formed on Monday. Okay. Um, maybe even as high as the Monday high here at 43,000, 44,000 almost. Okay. So we'll have to see how this current candle closes on the 4-hour side and whether it continues to be met with the same kind of volume or more. That would give us some indication that maybe we are in for some further upside move in the Dow. Looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay, so looking at the 30-minute chart, we have a series of bullish candles here. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here for the start of Tuesday. Okay, drag that across, and you can see that we are a little bit further along. Okay, with respect to leaving value. Okay, than either the Dow, either the ES or the Nasdaq. Okay, so we kind of stalled here around value area high, and we've received a couple of relatively strong bullish candles to the upside. Okay, so where can this market go? Well, I have some levels above me. I have 43,100 here. That could be kind of a statistical area where we could see a reversal in price. Okay, maybe as high as 43,155. Okay, but right now it does appear that we are heading higher in the Dow. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and add my anchored VWAP to this chart. Let's see where London is on this. You can see that price is above our kind of London VWAP and our daily VWAP. Okay, both indicating that there is some further upside. We are above our value area high. So everything indicating at this point that maybe there is some additional upside opportunity in the Dow. Okay, so like usual, right? I'm gonna wait for this initial balance range to establish in this market, and see what opportunities that the initial balance provides me, especially on the edges. Okay. Otherwise, there's obviously we've spoken about this already in the Nasdaq, but there's obviously value area high, assuming that it holds. That this could offer me a location, right, for price to continue, okay, to the upside. Okay, should price come back inside value, then we open up the door for maybe a rotation through value all the way down to the edge of value here at value area low. Okay, so let's take a quick last kind of review of each of the markets here on the 30-minute time frame and see what's taking place here. So we're looking at the gold at the moment on the 30-minute time frame. We're going to go ahead and open up initial balance. Okay, so we made an attempt here to get above value, failed. Okay, and now it looks like we are developing maybe some structure that could cause price to fall. Okay, we also see that we are in kind of developing a little bit of a double top here. Okay, so right now, assuming this candle closes maybe even below VWAP, we could see an extension lower, and then at that point, I'll be looking for something along IB low for a continuation move to the downside. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold. All right, moving to the crude oil. Okay, again, today is EIA, so need to be aware of that. So it might actually be kind of sluggish up until that EIA report. We would probably be better served in waiting for this EIA report to come out at 10:30 before we make any sort of definitive move in this market. Now, what we are seeing is that price is bullish. Okay, we are well above our VWAP, and we are appearing to be developing some structure that could lead us to higher prices in the crude. Moving on, last few markets here, we'll look at the NASDAQ and oops. Okay, so here we are on the Nasdaq. We are kind of bumping our heads up against this area of resistance. I would say that if we can get above 20,500, I think it opens up 20,530 and potentially up to this, this area above us. Okay, this does feel a little bit in the way more of a retracement than it is an impulsive move to the downside. But nonetheless, we still need to see price, make its way higher, or break some structure here to the upside to really embrace that view. Okay, if it's unable to break structure to the upside, then the not out of the question here that we start to continue in the same kind of structure that we've been in since the start of the day, or the end of the day here on Tuesday. Okay, so I would say that Nasdaq is probably looks a bit more bearish um, going into the market open. Okay, and then we have the ES. Okay, it's showing a little bit more in the way of strength. Okay, it's coming into this market. We've already broken above some of these areas, so ES looking a bit strong. Okay, and then the Dow, I think, of all of the equity markets, was the strongest of all. Okay, so we have kind of a difference in strength with respect to the equities. Nasdaq, I would say, appears to be the weakest of the three. Dow is kind of leading the pack on the bullish side. Okay, so with that, guys, we'll go ahead and close off this session as we close every session. Trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent trading session today, guys, and we'll talk soon. You're welcome, Natalie.